Remember when I said things were getting spicy in my last video when we were just a nightmare? Well, things are about to get spicier. The progression on this sorceress is cruising. Just a quick peek at where I currently am on this adventure, and this diadem gives me a lot of hope for what I'll be able to find when I rock with players 8. Anyhow, I have digressed. The solo self-found Sorceress Saga is back, and we have made our way into hell, which means it is time to let the struggle begin. The transition from nightmare to hell is every character's awkward phase, and the first stop was already a no-go. I had to just use the bob and weave to make things happen. And the old man was set free for the last time. Turns out my sorceress's heavy snow doesn't bother the countess either. All those cold immunes can suck it though. Look at this technique. Run in circles, cast some blizzies, and repeat. And finally my first useful quest loot drop to add some beef to my mercenary. I made a lore because why not? I'll take that extra one to all skills. I don't know why I did this, but I was feeling it, and I took a pause from hell after Andy and decided to give Meph another shot in Nightmare. I just felt that this setup could be a lot better. I found Tal's mask, so that was decent. The all-res alone was desperately needed in hell. Found another one, not what I needed though. Sorceress's belt stood the test of time, but it was time to go even if it was just for a night smoke. Shortly after Tal's belt was found though. Honestly wasn't too useful besides the added MF at the time. Frostburns, which I'm sure will come in handy. Pun intended. The resistances on the ward are just beautiful. I'll use this until I find a monarch. I did a lot of runs. It was overkill, but I felt a bit better no longer being in the negatives with my resistances. It was time to move on though. Teleport is obviously very OP. I sped run through Act 2. I think I only got caught up maybe once and died while just tallying around. I only killed what I had to and pieced out of Act 2 for a long time, at least until I'm ready to farm the ancient tunnels. It was on to the worst of the worst acts in my opinion, and I turned up the jets in Act 3 big time. It was getting sweaty. I needed to get out and there were a couple of close calls, but the bob and weave outplayed all the demons. I picked up all the quests and just wanted to get to Mephisto. A couple of teleports in and out of the Trav with some blizzards was enough to get the flail. I was on to Meph and the Durance of Hate was about to be my home for a long time to gear up. I ran him a couple of times and picked up a few things, nothing too significant though. The Wizzy was nice to have, but of course I didn't meet the dex requirement and I couldn't give up the spirit yet. I farmed him so much in Nightmare I needed a break from Mephisto, and since it's my first single player character, I really wanted to hit Lower Kurast. I found a good map, adjusted the player settings, and I was on my way. I was hoping for a monarch because sometimes it can be a huge pain in the ass. You hate to see it, but the Mahim Oak was an upgrade. I kept finding nice small charms and I'll take these all day. The magic find and the resistances will help a lot. Treachery is for sure on the way, perfect for my mercenary who is still wearing a dark glow. And an Ist to top it off for runes on my first few runs from LK is pretty damn nice. Here's a decent enough jewel that I stashed. I feel like I was a bit lucky, but I was very relieved when I found this monarch. I finished these LK runs with some very decent charms, and I dabbled with Meph in between and picked up the Andariels. I had to show it because it becomes important later. The treachery was made once I found a base. I misclicked on Nightmare and I lost my LK map, but I had to go back anyhow. I finally picked up a Holy Freeze Merc and I was able to socket my monarch to make my spirit. It was a gross roll. I'll re-roll it later though, but it was so nice to finally have it. I didn't use my stat points for a long time, as you can see, because I knew this moment would come, and I'm limited to one more respec. I finagled my gear around and made it happen so I could equip the monarch. The Andariels became my armor for way longer than I anticipated, but hey, it works just fine. I had to suck it up, and it was pure Mephisto time. I knew it was going to take a while, but I had to start, and things were starting to look up big time. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and more of the saga is on the way very soon.